Hey everyone, this is Brandon, and tonight we're going to be looking at a ship that has been asked for a very long time, and we finally have it, a Tier 6 Sovereign-class type starship. This is the Archon Intel Assault Cruiser. This is the fleet version. I actually purchased both the fleet version and the regular version just to get the console. And let's take a look here. A lot of complaints have been about the design of it, mostly just those nacelles. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, those just look ridiculous. Okay, but other than that, it looks pretty okay. I mean, I see what people mean by the saucer almost looking like the love child of an Endeavor and a regular Sovereign, but I think it looks pretty sharp. But one thing I did find out beforehand is, yes, contrary to, I believe, what's been going around, you actually do have access to the parts from the other Sovereign variants in the ship customizer, so you can get rid of those nacelles, change the saucer, just whatever you wish to just make it, you know, a little more pleasing to the eye. Let's take a look under the hood here. Let's see, absorber hull plating, rapid repairs. Okay, yeah, whatever. Alright, and the main complaint about the Archon is the seating of the buffs, the buff seating. A lot of people are complaining about the fact that it has no dedicated science seating, and limited tactical seating, and way too much engineering is what people have been complaining about as well. I've even had people say that too much engineering actually hurts a ship and actually just makes the ship not very good. But I am a firm believer in the concept that there is no such thing as a bad ship. You just have to know how to play it, you just have to know what to take, and you just really have to know how to pilot the thing in order to make it good. So for this particular build, this is actually the first build I can come up with. Is in the Universal Science slot, I have a Crenum Science Officer with Science Team 2, Override Subsystem Safeties 2, which you have to have on any Intel vessel. You know, either Override Subsystem Safeties 1 or 2. 3 is actually not really worth it. And Feedback Pulse 2. And along with, of course, TAC Team, TAC Pattern Beta, Beam Ray Firewall 3, Torpedo Spread 1. And for the engineering loadout, I'm actually kind of excited about this. I rarely come across a ship that has just this many engineering slots, so it really allows me to take a whole fanfare of stuff. You know, I got the basic Engineering Team 1, Aux Power to the Structural Integrity Field 1, Emergency Powered Weapons 3, Direct Energy Modulation 3, and just a duplicate Emergency Powered Weapons 1 for Global Cooldown, and Reverse Shield Polarity 1. Overall, this makes for a pretty impressive Feedback Pulse tank. I mean, with everything loaded here, I can dish out damage, and I can take damage like the best of them. It's honestly pretty interesting, you know, how this works out. And I am going to parse this later, so we'll really see how it works. Underneath the traits here, of course, I'm going with the standard ablative shell, particle manipulator, inspirational leader, self-modulating fire, last-ditch effort, beam training, point blank, beam barrage, fleet coordinator. And for the starship traits, in fact, let me change one here. I'm going to go ahead and take out tactical analysis. And I'm actually going to use exotic modulation since I am going to be using DEM. So that'll give a nice 20% exotic damage boost to Feedback Pulse when I have it active. And of course, superior pedal to the metal. Some people love pedal to the metal, some people hate it. I love it. You know, I've always, ever since I started the game, I've always had a bad habit of running at full throttle. and I've learned to master piloting a ship at full throttle, so it really doesn't affect me. So I take full advantage of that trait. Of course, invincible. Very good to have, especially since I rely a lot on go down fighting in order to jack up my DPS. Supremacy. Yep. And of course, emergency weapon cycle. The must-have trait that you should always have slotted no matter what build you have. And for my space reputation, enhanced armor penetration, aux power offense, precision, energy refrequencer, advanced targeting systems. These are the 5 space reputation traits that are very common on a lot of the DPS builds you see out there. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, oh yes, another thing, specializations. I'm going Temporal Operative as primary, that's all maxed out, and Strategist, of course, all maxed out. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and run around and get to the level 4 mastery lock before I go ahead and parse and really see what this thing can do. It'll also give me time to get a feel for the ship. So I'll be right back once I get that mastery level. And we're back. Okay, so I went all the way from 1 to 4, so mastery level is at max for the ship. And as you can tell, I did swing by the ship customizer to just fully overhaul the look of the ship here. Give it a little more robust, intimidating look. Got rid of those awful nacelles and replaced it with well, I like them. And yeah, with a better saucer, give it a more armored appearance. So yeah, I think it looks great. What do you think? Okay. And oh yeah, one thing I of course forgot to touch on at first is my equipment slots for the ship. Okay, I like running cannon builds for my ship, so of course, energy type, all phaser, with 1 torpedo forward, 1 torpedo back. All phasers, all the regular phaser beams are damage times 3 pen. And forward torpedo is quantum phase torpedo epic. And rear, I got another 2 damage 3 pen phasers and a arc damage pen omnidirectional phaser array. And the aft torpedo is a Terran Task Force torpedo launcher. I love adding this to the rear of my ship as it actually makes a really good killing blow when you're flying past something. You lay in them with your forward weapons, and if it's still alive, okay, a Terran Task Force torpedo will take it out. Deflector, impulse, warp shields. I'm running the full Iconian set as really any tactical build should be running. Devices, energy amplifier, deuterium surplus, pretty much evasive maneuvers in a can. Reactive armor catalyst, subspace field modulator. Engineering, I have tachyokinetic converter, adds more to my turn rate, critical chance, critical severity, control, but I'm using no control on this, so whatever. Hydrodynamics compensator, gives me a boost accuracy and turn rate, and it is also part of the counter command ordnance set, along with the Counter Command Multi-Conduit Energy Relay, which gives me a boost of phaser and photon damage, and the Set 2 bonus adds an extra 7.5% bonus phaser damage as a Cat 2 bonus, meaning that instead of it adding to your base damage, it's plus 75% of your total damage. So the 7.5% Category 2 bonus plus the 16.4% phaser damage offered by the energy relay actually comes out to more than what a vulnerability locator would actually give you, due to the fact that 7.5% of that is Category 2. And getting back, Plasmonic Leech, of course, binaural infusion circuit, quantum phase converter. Of course, if you're running a phaser build, that's a must-have console. It also does double the drain amount from my quantum phase torpedo using torpedo spread. And for science consoles, I have embassy consoles, EPG, increasing threat, so more things shoot at me and more things I shoot back at with feedback pulse. And of course, vulnerability, vulnerability, vulnerability. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a actual test run through ISA, and we're going to see how we do. Okay, so results of that parse, 139.63K. Not bad at all. And let's see what the main sources of damage were here. Of course, phaser array, feedback pulse, plasma explosion, entropic rider, direct energy modulation, it pretty much does the same damage as chemocyte lace weaponry. And everything else here. Yeah, overall 139K. I'm actually quite impressed by that. You know, for a ship, for this type of ship, you know, with mostly engineering slots, that's not bad at all. Okay, in closing, yeah, the Fleet Intel Assault Cruiser Tier 6, while not a great ship, is still a pretty good ship. You know, it's decent. You know, don't be discouraged by the fact that it has no dedicated science seating. You know, and also some would say too much engineering seating. It actually makes for some very unique, unorthodox builds that, as you can clearly see by my parse there, can actually work out great. Some of you also might be wondering why I was not using the console. Well, the console from a DPS standpoint is not good, and it's primarily due to that negative 50% all energy damage for 10 seconds. That can severely impact your DPS, just those 10 seconds at half strength for your weapons. Definitely not good from a DPS standpoint, but from a PvE standpoint, you know, it's a fun console to use. And also from a PvP standpoint, this console can definitely come in handy in PvP, you know, as a quick means to avoid damage, extend the length of the fight, and just really save your ass. Well, so that's everything about this ship, and yeah, go ahead and hit like if you like my presentation here. And yeah, once again, good ship. If you're a Sovereign fan, Sovereign fanatic, there's a lot of you out there. Yeah, it's definitely worth picking up. Alright, signing off.